Happy Thursday and welcome to the morning after. Today we are discussing episode 2 of Bachelor Canada season 3. I am going to make a concerted effort to not spend the entire time today talking about Shanti. I talk about her almost entirely in my written recap for Flair, so I'm going to resist going there today. That said, I do have a quote of hers that I'm going to start the episode off with, which is, they are in Costa Rica, and we know we're off to a good start with Shanti when she says, "Being a former model, I'm used to being in the A-list circle." Here's the thing, there might be legitimacy to what she's saying, it's just who says that? Who says that? Oh my, and it says so much about her that she would say that. Anyway, Lindsay gets that coveted first one-on-one date, and I'm like so irked because Roz Weston was so on the money with Lindsay, and I didn't take her seriously because I thought 23, how long can she last? And here I am, I'm totally wrong about that. Chris on Lindsay. Lindsay's very fun to be around. She's light, she's fun, she makes me laugh. He again said she's easy to be around, and she's gorgeous. I mean, she's a knockout, unquote. I cannot imagine a stronger list of like pros from a man on a woman that he's into. So yeah, Lindsay is not going anywhere anytime soon. That said, I really appreciated his focus on her age, and I think that really shows that he is actually maybe taking this whole thing pretty seriously, because her age is a concern. It is. As I said on Facebook Live for Bachelor Canada, 10 years is not a huge difference. Like, if you guys follow Andy and me, he's more than 10 years older than me. He's just under 13 years older than me. But the difference is when we met, I was 29 and he was 42. It's just a different, something about your 20s. I'm telling you, you grow up a lot in that time, and I get it. Like, Lindsay seems super mature. She moved to New York when she was 18. Like, that's, you know, she's obviously very mature for her age. She seems like an old soul. But that said, is a woman who is that career focused and driven that she would move to New York at the age of 18, ready to get married at 23. So I like that Chris focused on this, and I like that he was honest in his reaction. He wasn't just like, oh, okay, 23. He definitely was like, it was actually the most expressive we've seen him so far, which I appreciated. So I think it's a concern. I really do. That said, she's in every other way totally likable. I like her a lot. Okay, so the group date rolls around. This is the photo shoot on the beach group date. And I laughed so hard when April, this is so Canadian to me. She, as the girls were approaching him on the beach, she says, "I'm going to run up to him," which was just so Canadian to me. It's like she's like warning the other girls. And then she sort of half-assedly hugs him, and then says sorry. What's the funniest thing? And can I just say, no one on the American show would ever announce she's going to run up to him and then apologize when she had. It was so, so funny. Let's see. Shawnee says, age... Oh god, that's a really long hashtag. So I guess age is just a number. I mean, I don't disagree. I think age can just be a number. I just think that at those ages, especially for a girl who is that career driven, I think it's a concern. But it's only her, it's true. Her age really is just a number. In no other way does she seem young. Okay. Michaela looks ridiculously good in her 50s swimsuit, can I just say. And they have insanely good chemistry. Chris mentions how attracted he is to her. And the music, I mean, again, Michaela has a really good music situation. I said this in my written recap last year. The music for Michaela always screams frontrunner. I do not think she's going anywhere. That said, Chris does not rave about Michaela the way he did about Lindsay, but she has yet to have her one-on-one. I think there's still time for that. I laughed so hard when Megan, the mermaid girl, when he dropped her in the water. I had a true LOL. I thought that was hysterical. And it just was the most awkward photo shoot, but she was a good sport about it. And Katie's photo shoot, hers was one of the 3 that was fully shown. So Michaela, Megan, which was just comedic value, and Katie. So it shows that she's also a front runner, which we all already knew. Their kiss was insanely hot. Actually, it was a lot hotter than I even thought it was going to be. And for Michaela to even state that Katie is one to watch, definitely, you know, it's not easy to admit that necessarily for another girl that maybe you're feeling competitive with. So that shows that there's definitely truth to that. Back at the mansion, there are many episodes happening with Shanti, which I'm going to resist discussing. But I had to make note of the fact that Stacy broke the fourth wall when she said, "Oh God, you're making me go on a date with Shanti." I thought that was so interesting that she said, "You're making me go on a date with Shanti," obviously referring to her producer. And that was something that I don't really see happening on the US show, actually. Chris, okay, so back on the group date. I'm going in like in actual chronological order. So back on the group date, Chris says of Michaela, "It's like there's no effort, yet our conversations are so meaningful at the same time." I don't really know why I'm mentioning that other than to say that, Michaela is a front runner. Okay. So Megan, I might have mixed up. Is Megan the mermaid girl? Or are there two Megans? I think I screwed up. Who's the mermaid girl? Someone tune in, someone comment and correct me. Because I have here Megan. Megan is the one from Newfoundland. And she says, okay, no, I'm getting all confused. It's early, I don't know their names yet. Okay. Megan is the girl from Newfoundland. I forget who the mermaid girl is. Someone correct me. Okay, I wrote, Megan seems sweet, but I am not getting that Chris is into her. I think he likes her fine. I think he finds her amusing, but I'm not getting a romantic vibe. The body language is downright painful, and they're one-on-one time, and she's holding his face and kissing him, and he literally says, "Wow, thank you, Tila. Lisa is the mermaid. Thank you." So yes, Lisa was the one dropped in the water. Now we're talking about Megan. So while Megan is holding his face and kissing him, Chris says, "Do you want to go back?" That is like a total red flag, and maybe you should stop holding and kissing his face. Also, the fact that Megan was so hurt when Katie got that group date rose is very concerning. It's, first of all, the first group date rose of the season, and she was like crying. I don't know if she had too much to drink, but she just seems really fragile, and like she's very young and doesn't really have a strong sense of like self and worth quite yet. In his one-on-one time with Kate, once again, she could be a major dark horse. I don't know why I don't have her in my top 4, but I just don't quite yet. But I feel like she will be soon. You could really see that Chris really responded to her 30-day challenge, 30 days of being in the same place. So, yeah, Kate, possible dark horse. I'm happy to be proven wrong about that one. Okay, so the other group date turns into just a pool party, which always sucks for the girls. I can't help but wonder if maybe it had something to do with Shanti just being around all the women, because, you know, it was just such automatic drama. It was so, I'm going to say it, shitty of her to reveal that Dee is a mother. And what's so frustrating about that is she spent so much time being such a victim, and then the second she does something truly awful to someone else, she suddenly has this, like, what's the big deal attitude? Like, someone else truly is a victim because of her, and she's just like, oh, like, it's not that big a deal. Like, which is so annoying. Like, I don't, like, the fact she didn't really take responsibility or seemed incapable of showing any remorse. It was very difficult to watch. And after that, this was a little upsetting to me because I had Dee at, you know, my top spot last week. And it was an awful thing that happened to her. They didn't show a one-on-one conversation between Chris and Dee. And who knows, maybe there was one, but the fact that it wasn't shown does not bode well for Dee's longevity here. Because I can't help but think, but if she was the last woman standing, that they would show instantly a conversation between him and Dee about her daughter, him asking about the daughter, and just, you know, showing general curiosity and acceptance of that. And the fact that they didn't, the only conversation they showed was him addressing her in front of all the women, which was so weird and awkward. It felt like a one-on-one conversation, but with all the women around nodding. It was really bizarre. So yeah, that has me, I dipped Dee a little bit in my list, not personally, but just because I feel like that was truly lacking. Especially after the fact that it was such an attack of sorts from Shanti. Also, did anyone else notice that Katie was allowed to sit out of the rose ceremony because she was not feeling well? That would never happen on the US show. Like, she would have to be like projectile vomiting for hours straight because they would just hold off that rose ceremony until she felt well enough to just stand there with her rose. Period. Ashley is sent home. I was a little sad about this. I liked Ashley. She didn't have any airtime and I liked her a lot. She had a really nice intro video. I said in my recap last week that she, you know, was in the early friend crush bin. And I mean, what she said upon leaving was so mature and just, you know, solidified how I felt about her. She said, if Chris decided from the snippet of time we've had together that he doesn't connect with me, better to know that now than later. I mean, can you imagine a more reasonable thing to say? I certainly cannot. Okay, guys, I have one question from you guys. Let's see. This is from Omo77. Do you think Shanti would have stuck around longer if this was the American version? Yes, I cannot say that emphatically enough. Yes. Can you imagine a world where the US version would not milk Shanti for all she's worth and just see if she could last till episode 4 or 5? I can just totally see that happening. It was pretty, it felt like a gift not only to us but also to her, because she obviously is not self-aware, and she's probably feeling terrible now, not like remorse, but probably feeling defensive now in real life, and she does not belong on a reality TV show, honestly. And I think it was a kind thing to do to us, the viewers, and to her, to let her leave that early, and to Chris. So yes, an emphatic yes is my answer to that. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, Sijal says, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Yes, thank you. My lipstick, it's very red. Sephora Always Red lip stain. It's a winner. Okay, thanks guys. Be sure to check out my Flair written recap. It's going to come out in like the next hour. And if you haven't already, join my team for the fantasy draft for Bachelor Canada. I'm feeling super competitive and I really want to win. So please join my team if you agree with my picks. And I will see you here next week on The Morning After. Bye.